Anytime I find a new software that I learn that is really cool and I really like it, I want to use it for KTF Productions in some respects. And Anime Studio was a new software that I learned about, and I looked at it and I thought, well, hey, this is a really neat way to do 2D animation. You know, with Reason we did 3D animation with Poser, and now I thought, well, I could do short form cartoons and actually use them to teach biblical principles through some characters that are provided by Cartoon Solutions and tell a story in just short form so I can put them on the internet and hopefully people will watch them. So that's where the idea came from, and I really like the idea of short form Christian cartoons. I really liked season 1. I liked working with the people that we worked with. They were just local people from our church, some people that we actually held auditions for in our community. And it was great. I love working with local people in our studio, recording them right there with us so I can direct them on how I want them to talk and act. But one of the things I didn't like about the first season of The Wortleys is that my animation techniques, my knowledge of the software wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. The characters that I had were limited in their emotion and what they could express. For instance, they couldn't smile, they could only smile, they couldn't do frowns or articulate their mouths in any other way. So what I had to do was just keep them smiling, even when there are difficult concepts they're dealing with.
Jerry, you don't know? My wife passed away 2 weeks ago. Car accident, drunk driver.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Another thing is that the dress of some of the characters were, I don't know, just not very modest. So I tried to adjust them as best I could by, some of the girls had really, really short cut-off tank tops, and I was able to lengthen them out so that they're not, you don't get to see their midriffs and everything. But what I couldn't do is, at least at the time, is lengthen out the shorts on one of the girls, Abby. But I thought, well, okay, I can deal with it, and it's not that bad. But apparently I was wrong, because a lot of the people who watched the cartoons sent in emails saying, you know, why is this Christian girl wearing short shorts? But we did fix it in season 2 by our first episode called Modesty. I had Amy Atnip write a cartoon episode just kind of transitioning from shorts to long pants, where she understands that modesty is the way a Christian should be, and that's when I also learned how to make longer pants. So I fixed that one, and also on second season we got more people who could help us out with other aspects of the Wortleys. And it's interesting because I got them through the internet. Just put out a little plea, a little video out there asking if there's anybody who wants to help out with the series, and I got some great people who are writers. I even got some voice actors. I also had some graphic artists, and the graphic artists helped me with the mouth articulation. So in season 2 you'll see more frowns, more facial expressions that are reflective of what the characters are actually feeling.
Now, there's a pregnancy clinic not too far from here, and they give free tests and information and support and everything. I think we should go.
Okay. But if they start trying to shove a bunch of anti-abortion propaganda down my throat?
If that happens, we'll go somewhere else.
So season 1 I liked, but season 2 I liked better because of the extra help that I had with the technical side, which was kind of my weakness. I've always wanted to do more than just the actual videos of whatever I was making. And in this aspect, I thought it'd be a great idea to do cartoons and comic books. So I started trying to make comic books that I could put on the internet as well, because I know that there are some people who will watch videos and some cartoons on the internet, but some that are more partial to other aspects like comic books, which you could put on your iPads and your mobile devices. So I decided, well, I'll just make some parallel stories of what's going on with these characters and still bring forth biblical principles through comic books, through comic strips, and also through online puzzles that are really single frame comics that they could put together themselves. So I thought it was a nice way to broaden what I consider the franchise of the Wortleys. So you have comic books, you have cartoons, and they all mix together to tell one large story. So in the end, we have 40 cartoons, 40 comic strips, 40 single frame comics, and then also we have 3 comic books. Well, I'm always impressed when God gives us an opportunity to do more than just live action video, which is what we started off doing. When we were able to do 3D animation, that was a huge difference for me. I never thought we'd be able to do any kind of animation telling a story at all. But then when we did the 3D animation, I was totally blown away by the technology, what I was able to do. And likewise now with the 2D animation with Wortley's, same thing, blown away. It makes me look like I know what I'm doing, where I'm just still learning, getting my feet wet in these areas. But we're able to tell stories and do cartoons and still put this stuff out. So I'm happy about that, but I don't know if I really appreciate the audience response. I appreciate what they said. A lot of them did say some really great things, and I've had some challenging comments as well. And that's not what I mean when I don't appreciate it. I mean that I have had higher expectations of what God might do with this series. But that said, I have high expectations for everything that He does through K-Tip Productions, and oftentimes it's not as grand as I had hoped in my mind. But still, even with that, we've had several thousands of people view each comic cartoon online. A lot of people viewed the comic strips, and we've gotten a lot of positive comments. I know that God has used it. So in that respect, I am pleased, but I always have higher expectations for things than what actually occurs.